Hey devs, welcome back to a new video. So, as you might have noticed at the beginning, I've completely eradicated the intro. I've never really liked them anyway. I just thought I kind of put it on because most people do it, and I've decided to just do away with it. I could get videos done a lot quicker without having to go into an editing software to do it, and providing everything goes okay, I can just like record and then just send it out. I don't really like to edit my videos. I like it to be like a natural, as if I was in the same room as you and I was teaching you. Um, so anyway, that's one thing. The second thing is this little series that I'm going to be doing is going to be more, rather than doing a project. I might do a project later on, but at the moment, it's going to be more in depth into certain elements and certain different things basically. Like for instance, this is doing local databases, and there's going to be other things when I think about them. So this project that I'm creating, I'm going to do this in Universal Windows project, but maybe later on down the line in a few weeks or so, I might go on to using WinUI, which is the new, it's like the next generation of Windows applications. The benefits of a WinUI is that you can open up. It opens up. With the restrictions, so you're going to use storage folders and stuff with Universal Windows Project. From what I've gathered with messing about with it, my last application that I created, if you haven't seen it, it's the PSD to PSB converter. I did a video about it previously. I created that in WinUI just to see what it's like, and from what I can see, it's mainly very similar to Universal Windows Project, but it's opened up. You can basically save files anywhere like you would do with a WPF application. It's good. The only little thing that annoys me about it is that there's no UI, so you can't see what you're creating. And I'm a visual person. I prefer to see what I'm doing. I mean, you can load it up, and there's a function called hot reload, which when you edit your XAML, it will load as you save it or as you're typing it out, which is okay, but still I prefer being able to actually physically like see it in the editor. But I don't know if that's just because that's what I'm used to, but hopefully, I get used to it. I am gonna, like I say, I'm gonna go on to doing more videos on WinUI because, well, it's the next generation, and also, like I say, it's opened up. So, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, this video is going to be about making a local database using SQLite and a Universal Windows project. So yeah, let's get onto it. So first of all, by the way, I'm going to be following the documentation from the Microsoft website. Sometimes it can be a little bit when you're following documentation. When you go onto Stack Overflow and people are like, "Oh, I need to read the documentation." Some people aren't great at following. Like I'd prefer to watch a video than I would to go on and read documentation, because the last thing you want to do when you're writing code all day is looking at text. That's just my thought anyway. So I thought I'd do a video. I've seen videos on things like this, but they're always quite difficult to follow, badly explained, or whatever the reason might be. I always seem to get confused, so I thought I'd do my own video. Apologies if mine turns out that way as well, but I'm sure you'll let me know in the comment section. Anyway, let's go. So first of all, let's create a blank project, and I'm just going to call this Universal Windows Project SQLite Demo. and create. I'm just going to set this to the newest build. So before we do anything, let's just come up to our right-click on our Solution Explorer. Our solution, and then go to Add New Project, and we're going to add a class library, and we're going to call this DataAccessLibrary, and create that, and we're going to set that to the same. So next we want to right click on our solution and go to our package manager, manage new get packages for solution, and we are going to type in SQLite, and we are going to get the core. That's for both. Install that. Accept. And then we are going to search for Win SQLite 3. This raw bundle, I'm going to select that. And this is just going to be for the Universal Windows project, and then install that. And then we'll get SQLite. That's the one. And that's just going to be for Universal Windows Project 2. Actually, let me just, it says on the documentation to do 2 or less. So let's do that. Don't know why that is, but the documentation says so. I think we'll see how we get on with that. Might have problems. I remember doing the doing this before, and that's the only reason why I've just changed it, because the it wasn't last time, but a few previous times ago, I actually did it with the up-to-date version, and I think I was getting errors. But we'll just see how we get on. Apologies if that is the case, but we live and learn. Okay. So first of all, in our Universal project, if we come down to references, right click on references, add reference, and then under project, click the add DataAccessLibrary, and then add that. And now if we come down into our app, underneath app, go into app.xaml.cs, and then we'll just put a using, and then DataAccessLibrary. So wherever we're going to be using this, so we'll do it in our project on our main page as well. Like that. And now we can actually come up to our class, and we can create this as a static data access. So at the top of this, we are going to need to add using, and then Microsoft.data, sorry, data.sqlite, like that. And then we'll need to initialize the database. So I'm going to just create a simple one. In fact, I'll do two. I'll do two fields, one a boolean and one just a text string. So let's initialize our database first by creating the database and the table. So we'll do public async static void initialize database. Spot void wrong. Okay, and then we'll do, so we're going to put this in our local folder, just in the root of our local folder. We'll do that like await application data, make sure that we add that storage to our application, current dot local folder dot create file async, and we will need to use this. If this was an application, we'll probably need to use this name a few times, so I usually just create a static string, and we'll just call it file name and equals, we'll just call it SQLite DB, just so we don't have to keep typing it. So file name, and then we want to choose open if exists, so we don't get an error. And we'll do string db path equals path, which is system.io dot combine application data dot current. I suppose we could have actually made this a variable as well. Local folder dot path file name. And this is what I really like about Visual Studio 22. It gives you suggestions, and the suggestions were really good usually. Using SQLite connection con equals new SQLite connection. That's actually wrong. We'll do a $, and then quotations. That allows us to add our variables in curly braces. So we'll say file name equals, and then curly braces, db path. And then we just need to open our database, so con.open. And then we'll create the database, or the table, sorry. So we've created the database, here's the table. We'll just say create table, and I'll just create table if not exists, and then the table name, I'll just call it users. So obviously we'll use user ID. This is a integer primary key, and we will just maybe we'll add a couple of fields. We'll just put first name, and the data type is a varchar, and I'll just put 20. Don't think there's going to be many people with a first name more than 20, and I'll put this as not null. Last name, varchar, do 20 again, not null. I want to add a boolean, so what can I put? Is admin, and we'll do a boolean there. I think that's all I'm going to do for now. And then what we need to do is actually create it. So we'll do SQL command create table equals new SQL command create table and then con. Oh, we've already got a create table there, so we'll do I'll name this what originally I was going to name it, table command, because that's what it is. And then we just execute reader. And that's our database created with a table, and we can actually test this out. So let's go back over to our project and our main project. And before we do anything, when this main page loads, I want to also do DataAccess.Initialize Database. And then if we run it, hopefully it works, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And to see if it's run okay, you can open up the application's local state. It's usually in your app data folder, so you've got app data, local, packages, and then just sort them from highest to lowest. We can see that we've created a database in our local file in our local folder for this application. So I'm going to use an application called DBBrowser, and it's such a good application actually. Like, you can just drag what you've created into it, and as you can see, it's actually worked brilliantly. If you go to this website, let me just have a look. So if you go to Sqlitebrowser.org, you can download this, and honestly, I swear by it, it's made my life so much easier since working with local databases. You can just drag that database in and you can check it to make sure that it's created, and you can even do executions and stuff. So yeah, it's good. So we've got our database, it's worked fine. Now we just need to write to it. So let's go on and create. Let's just create a simple UI just to add something to our database. So I'm just going to add a stack panel, make it orientation horizontal, text box, xname, username, first name, name box. Text box. Next name. Last name. Box. Let's do vertical alignment center and horizontal alignment center. Let's put them in the middle. Width 300. Width 300. I'm just going to add a margin to 10 0 0 0. Just give it a little bit of a margin between, and I'm going to surround this in another stack panel. If you highlight your text like that and click Ctrl-K-S, you'll get this little menu pop up, and you can actually add, like, surround it with whatever you want. So stack panel. This time it's going to be orientation vertical, and probably should put that one under. Actually, no, that one stays on that one. So then I can, underneath it, nope, underneath that, add a checkbox, and then content is admin, like that. And obviously then underneath that we'll add a button, xname, add to database button. Let's name this is admin checkbox. Let's just add a, I don't know if this is a new thing, but I don't think I've ever seen it before, but they've got a header now. So you can actually just add a header instead of adding labels. So I'm just going to say first name, last name. Content of this button will just be add to database. Let's give that a margin 0, 20, 20. To separate it up a little bit. Like that. It's very simple, but it'll do the trick. So let's add a click event to that. Right click, view code. So basically all we need to do here is just add it to our database. And to do that, we obviously need to have a database add function. So let's come down underneath this in our data access library. Under data access, we want to create a public static void add to data add to table. We've got string first name, string last name, and bool is admin. So just like we did before, we'll do string db path equals application data dot current dot local folder dot path actually we can just do it on this, so path dot combine, and then we can do our file name that we created before using SQLite connection con equals new SQLite connection file name and then db path. And the reason why we use a using around here is because if we forget to close it, it's not a problem. It'll only run this code and then it'll automatically close it. We'll do con.open SQLite command. SQ command add insert equals new SQLite command insert dot connection equals con. So insert dot command text equals, and this is going to be our insert string. So insert into what do we call our user table or user code it users into users values, then we'll put null for obviously the user ID. We don't need to do anything there, and then we've got first name, last name. What was is admin? Let me just make sure I'm doing it the right. Is admin, yep. Okay. So now we just need to add the parameters. So insert dot parameters dot add with range. Sorry, add with value. Then we'll put first name, and then that'll be first name. Insert dot parameters dot add with value, last name, insert dot parameter dot add with value is admin. Once we've done that, we'll just do insert dot execute reader, and then we can do con.close, but it doesn't really affect anything. Just cleans up a little bit. Okay. So that should enter the values into our database. So let's attempt to add that. So I'll do a try, just so. And if there is an error, then we'll get it to send us a message. So message dialog. Message equals new message dialog ex.message. This needs to be await, and also need to add the async to the method. So just make sure that there's no errors. We can do DataAccess dot add to table, and we can do first name box dot text. I don't know what's up with me today. I keep making mistakes. It's maybe because it's 5:30 in the morning, or that it's actually freezing. And then is admin dot is checked value. So hopefully, and what I will do here actually, we'll do once it's added, we'll do text equals, just so it's ready to add more. We don't need to mess about with that one. Just do first box dot focus. Focus state dot pointer. So let's give it a run. Let's see if we can add some data. So first name Lee, last name Dembe, is admin, add to database, format a string does not contain index 0. Let me have a look what I've done. I knew it wouldn't be as straightforward. Let's try that. Just bear with me a second, I will have to pause and just have a look into what I've done wrong. Okay, there was actually a few errors, a few problems that I'd done there. The first being I never added an equal sign here. Make sure you put an equal sign, and also I never had an at on the admin. Need to put an at. My bad. So now it should work. So let's do Lee Dembe is admin, and then add. And as you can see, that's, I think it's added. So open up our database, and as you can see now, we've actually added to it. So let's just add something else. Mark Joel, I don't know. Refresh, and as you can see, that's been added. So that is how to add to the database. Now we want to add another button that will retrieve. In fact, we will add a list that will retrieve our data. So let's close that, and we want to come into our main page, and underneath here, let's add a list box. Let's just call it users list. Let's just see if that's margin top. Let's do 50. So we want to add a list, our list box items to this for each person. So first of all, I'm going to create an object. Let's call it public static user public static class user so public static string first name get set public static string last name, and then public static bool is admin get set. So when we load our application here, we will populate our list if we've got anything in it. So first of all, obviously we need to create our actual method that's going to call from the database. So public static void, no, public static list, and this is going to be actually, rather than putting that there, I'm going to put it inside here. User get user do list user equals new user. Okay, I was getting an error then because I had it set to static and it doesn't need to be static, so there we go. So pretty much the same as what we were doing before. String db path equals application application data dot path. Actually, we'll do path dot combine file name. Using SQLite connection con equals new connection file name. Make sure you put equals db path con.open and then SQLite command this is a select, so select command equals new SQLite command. Then we can put the command inside here, so select first name, last name is admin from users then we'll do SQLite data reader query equals select command. Nope, sorry. It's not that. Select command dot execute reader. Then we'll need to do a while. Query.read, and then we'll say users dot add new users, and then first name equals query 0, last name equals query 1, and then is admin equals query boolean 2. Save, and then we can close the database. Dot close. And then obviously we need to return that value at the end. So then we will return users. So if we come back over here, here we'll do a list data access dot, actually we'll do users equals, and then we'll do data access dot get users, and then we need to do list box item equal, in fact we'll do this inside for each user in users, list box item equals new list box item, do item dot data context equals user. Actually saying that, actually yeah, we will do that, and I'll show you how to create a custom list box item, a really simple one. and then we'll do lists, what was it? User list dot items dot add, and then item. So this is just a bonus one for you. If we come over to our app, we can create a data, we'll create a application resources data template, X key, we'll just say user list item, add a grid. How are we going to do this? We'll give it a height of 50, no, we'll do it 60. Start a text block, another text block, got grid.row1, and we'll add row definitions, and we'll add a column definition, well, color picker, column definition, column, width, let's do 100. I'll add a checkbox, grid.column1, grid.rowspan 2 is checked, and we'll put binding is admin, text binding first name, text binding last name. And now we can just add this to item dot content template equals application dot current dot resource. What do we name it? Copy that, paste that there as data template. Sorry, as data template. Okay, I think that might be all. Fingers crossed. Let's just give it a run. I'm going to debug it just in case there's an error. Looks like there's an error. I mean, probably if we put column 1 I know what the problem is. Horizontal alignment stretch. Let's see if that worked. Didn't work, but you get the gist. So we've got that's retrieving our data. First name, last name, and then whether it's an admin or not. So now you know how to create a database, add to the database, create a table, add retrieve data. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know. Apart from if you wanted to update fields and stuff like that. But if you do want anything like this video's kind of dragged on a little bit. So if you do want anything like that, just comment in the comment section. If I get enough people that want to, then I will update, add another tutorial on how to do that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please like the channel. I'm going to be adding more interesting tutorials in the coming months. So yeah, have a fab day. Bye.